This week in Jamaica Now. Rush, crush, chaos as hundreds try to beat the deadline for passport fee hikes.
There can't be no decent person for going there, sir.
Why Twitter followers are angry with the National Security Minister over his latest pronouncement on crime. Jamaica on alert for another mosquito-borne virus, and elderly man killed in alleged shootout on St. Thomas Ganja farm. The details of these and other stories coming up after the break.
We'll always be there for the moments that will define the rest of your life. The Gleaner, where life unfolds.
I'm Carleen Brown, and this is Jamaica Now. The Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, PICA, has moved its applications quarters to the National Indoor Sports Complex for this week to accommodate the hundreds of people trying to beat the date for new fees. PICA says its officers will begin accepting applications at 6 o'clock each day. The move follows chaotic scenes at PICA's head office in Halfway Tree last week, forcing the authorities to delay the date for the new fees. Here's how it unfolded.
We coming from early this morning from about 3 o'clock, and the line was very long. Portia, you're wicked to it. You should have extend the time and give you more time. You can't just give things so you're not raise nothing. Minimum wage of 5,300. 5,300 can't do nothing. Nothing that can do. A bus here, lunch money that we are work for.
The police tried relentlessly to bring the situation under control, but for some time their efforts were like putting hot coal in a plastic bag.
Some of the people here, they're not cooperating.
There can't be no decent person for going there, sir. Well, I'm so leaving as long as I reach up in crowd, sir, and start push down some of them people, because my son at the gate and them not going to let me through, so I have to go get mad when the gate open and go in, and then maybe when I reach around there, sir, I think can go on for me. A formula like this, ignorance and aggression, that's what it worth. Because them never planned the thing. So you can come in decent and formal. See there, a 4-line my farm over there, so 2 women and 2 men. And for the last half hour, them don't let in the people them. And over here, so, a pure chaos. The people them just bungle up. So these are the disobedient ones, and that's Moses' tribe over there, so.
We asked some people whether they could have delayed their visit to avoid the chaos.
My daughter, them assault me out, so them say they must get it by the 27th. It's ready.
My baby mother go beat me, because I have to carry my son. See that? If I never carry him, should I say I love my daughter more than him? I don't have a son, I have 15 girls and 1 boy, so I have to do him like a thing. I have to sort him out before his mother, so I'm not interested.
In the meantime, the National Security Ministry has extended the implementation date for the new fee structure from Tuesday, May 26 to Monday, June 1.
And so it means persons have the rest of this week and next week to apply.
Damian Mitchell for the Gleaner Online.
And the opposition is insisting that the 6-day delay for the new fees is not enough. It also wants the government to roll back the increases in fees.
We need this to be cut back in half at this time. At a later period, perhaps sometime next year, there can be another moderate increase. But the extent of the increase all at once is a wicked act.
However, the National Security Minister Peter Bunting says there will be no rollback. He says the last fee increase was in 2009, and many passport holders readily buy expensive plane tickets to travel overseas.
If you look between 2009 to now, the adjustments that have taken place there in the exchange rate, as well as the expanded demand for service. I ask you again to bear in mind that $6,000 over 10 years for an adult passport works out at $600 a year. Compare that with the cost of an airline ticket, which is why you would have typically needed a passport to travel. That $600 is a fraction of the $60,000 or $100,000 that a typical airline ticket would cost.
And the National Security Minister was in for harsh criticisms by Twitter followers last week after he told a PNP face-to-face meeting in St. James that the 19% spike in murders was just a bump in the road. According to the minister, he is confident that the police will be able to deal with the problem. But that has not appeased Twitter followers. Some, reacting to the story at the Gleaner's handle, said the minister appeared insensitive to the grief of people who have lost relatives through violence. Meanwhile, the police commissioner, Dr. Carl Williams, says domestic disputes have been helping to drive Jamaica's murder rate. However, Dr. Williams says other serious crimes are on the decline.
We have had many people who are killing their close relatives or friends, their spouses and so on. We've had many more this year than last year. So the proportion of domestic murders this year is much greater.
3 cops have been taken off frontline duty in St. Thomas after angry residents demanded justice for the fatal shooting of 63-year-old farmer Alvin Allen during an alleged shootout with the police. The police had said a team went to a 4-acre ganja farm in Greencastle, Bath, following reports from a resident that men in a ganja field fired shots at him. The police said 2 of the 3 men who were discovered in a shed opened fire on them and they returned the fire. 2 of the men reportedly escaped while Allen was found with gunshot wounds to his abdomen. However, residents have disputed the police's version of what happened. The parliamentary opposition and the groups representing doctors in the public sector want the government to take urgent action to minimize the impact of the Zika virus. The Ministry of Health has advised that there is now an outbreak of the virus in Brazil and it poses a potential threat to Jamaica. The Zika virus is spread by the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which also carries the dengue and chikungunya viruses. The medical groups say an immediate public education program should be launched so that Jamaicans can get a clear understanding of the virus. Symptoms include fever, joint and muscle pain, conjunctivitis, headache, weakness, rash, and swelling of the lower limbs. The symptoms usually appear 3 to 12 days after an infected mosquito bites a person and can last for 4 to 7 days. The mining ministry says it will update the country in due time about the details of a site visit to the cockpit country following claims of illegal mining in the protected area. A team from the mining ministry conducted the visit last week following complaints by environment and community groups that mining activity is being allowed in the protected area. The Jamaica Environment Trust has claimed that bauxite company Noranda has been deploying equipment and building roads to haul material within the Bryan Castle area near Stewart Town in Trelawney. However, State Minister in the Mining Ministry Julian Robinson said his checks have revealed no mining activities are taking place within boundaries agreed between the government and Noranda. Multiple boundaries have been proposed for the vast protected area, and last year Mining Minister Philip Polwell reiterated that mining will not be permitted until official borders are determined. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune into Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Carleen Brown, reminding you to take care of the children this Child's Month and always.